League of Legends Wild Rift. Diana is a diver champion commonly played in the middle lane. When playing this fighter in the mid lane, we rank it as a A-tier pick. Diana will mostly do magic damage and can deal a lot of damage. Based on playstyle, we consider this champion easy to play. Diana is one of the easiest to play AP hard carry champs you can pick up for your roster. Her kit and rune options allow you to have superb gap closing, extreme burst, and sustained damage in one champion, which allow her to pick between becoming a bruiser, AP assassin, or most recently a tank, a champion that can adapt to your playstyle. Now, let's begin the video with the skill guide. Her passive ability, Moonsilver Blade, grants her bonus attack speed, which is further increased after she casts ability. Diana's first ability, Crescent Strike, afflicts enemies with moonlight and reveals them for 3 seconds. Her first ability also deals magic damage in an arc before expanding. Her other abilities include Pale Cascade, Temporary Shield. Diana creates 3 orbiting spheres for 5 seconds, that detonate in contact with enemies, and Lunar Rush, a small dash. Diana dashes to an enemy dealing magic damage. Diana's ultimate, Moonfall, reveals and draws in nearby enemies towards her location while dealing damage and slowing them down for 2 seconds. Let's look at the ability order for mid lane. First put out Moonsilver Blade, at level 1 then 4 then 6 then 8. Next Pale Cascade at level 3 then 7 then 9 then 10. For Lunar Rush you can up it at level 2 then 12 then 13 then 14. For Ultimate Moonfall upgrade it at level 5 then 11 then 15. Ability order. For Jungle, Moonsilver Blade, level 2 12ths, 13 14ths, Pale Cascade, level 1 quarter, 6 8ths, Lunar Rush. Level the 3rd are the 7th of September 10, Moonfall the 11th of May 15. Let's look at recommended Keystones and Summoner spells with Diana. Flash and Ignite are barrier, Exhaust for mid lane, Flash and Smite for jungle. Let's look at Keystones, for mid lane. First is Conqueror setup. Conqueror then Brutal then Regeneration then Manaflow Band. Next is Electrocute setup. Electrocute then Gathering Storm then Regeneration then Hunter Genius. For Keystones, for jungle. First for Conqueror setup, Conqueror then Brutal then Regeneration then Mastermind. For Electrocute setup, Electrocute then Gathering Storm then Regeneration then Mastermind. Let's look at item build. For standard build we take Luden's Echo then Lich Bane then Ionian Stasis then Infinity Orb then Rabadon's Deathcap then Void Staff. For tanky build we take Rod of Ages then Lich Bane then Ionian Stasis then Rabadon's Deathcap then Liandry's Torment then Void Staff. For attack speed build we take Nashor's Tooth then Lich Bane then Ionian Stasis then Rabadon's Deathcap then Rylai's Crystal Scepter then Void Staff. For anti-heal build we take Luden's Echo then Lich Bane then Ionian Stasis then Morellonomicon then Rabadon's Deathcap then Void Staff. So, this were the builds. Now, let's look at her strengths. Due to her flexible kit, Diana can be played in the jungle role as well, slightly slow jungle clear in the early game. She can crowd control the enemy team with her ultimate, Moonfall, and can do a decent amount of damage with her second skill, Pale Cascade, in team fights. She can literally one-shot squishy champions in the late game. Let's see her weakness. The only drawback of Diana is that once you've used all the abilities in her kit, she becomes like a sitting duck waiting to be killed. She can be easily countered by building magic resists. Let's see her Diana counters. She is strong against. Diana counters champions that have low defense and low mobility in the early game like Ziggs, Zed, Sona, Nami, and Twisted Fate. Diana can one-shot marksmen in the late game that makes her extremely good against them. She is weak against. Diana is weak against champions that have high mobility or some CC, stun or silence, in their kits like Garen, Camille, Jax, and Fiora. It's really easy to play around the cooldowns of a champion like Diana. How good is Diana in Wild Rift? Diana will be the first bruiser sort of ability power damage champion in LoL Wild Rift. Because of the shield in her second ability, she got decent sustain and tankiness in her kit that can help her withstand the burst of assassins like Zed, Fizz, and Ahri. So, she'll do well against all the present mid-lane champions in the game. The diversity in her kit makes her an A-tier champion if not S-tier. Farming tips for Dana. Crescent Strike allows Diana to wave clear while poking the enemy laner at the same time, but it can be hard to use when you're not trying to push the wave. There's a general rule of thumb with Diana. Since Crescent Strike arches counterclockwise, you want to position yourself so that the wave is on Diana's right side to catch all the minions when you want to hard push. Alternatively, you line up with the wave when you don't want to hard push to avoid hitting all the minions. Remember, the best use of Crescent Strike is to get CS while poking the enemy laner at the same time. It will save the most mana, and hopefully, allow an all in the moment you hit level 6 to kill the enemy with Moonfall. Your passive, Moonsilver Blade is another thing to be aware of, since it turns your autos into an AoE attack that applies AP damage, so it's good to save it for the casters after you hit them with Crescent Strike for an almost instant clear from the mid-game onwards. Don't be afraid to use Pale Cascade for CS when farming under turret, or when you want to clear a wave quickly to go help out at the river. However, keep in mind that you do not want to go in for a fight when Pale Cascade is on cooldown. Split pushing tips. Diana excels at split pushing thanks to her kit. She can melt down turrets from using abilities that grant her attack speed and her passive that lets you apply AP damage to turrets on every third AA. If someone that isn't a Fiora or a tank comes to match you, you can full combo them with QEAWRRE as long as they're squishy. If someone less squishy comes up, you can wait for them in a bush to push the wave back and then engage on them and chase them back to their turret. Save Moonfall for the moment they get close to their turret to pull them back out, and don't use Lunar Rush without Moonlight applied unless they flash. After getting a kill, you will probably be able to get a turret while the enemy team tries to rotate to match you. Make sure you have vision in the jungle. You want to ward bushes getting to the lane you're split pushing in. You do not want to get collapsed on from having no vision of the enemy team.